My name is Chandra Fisiai, and I was born in Tonga but raised up here in Fiji, and I currently live in Nandi.
You want to be a decision maker?
Yes.
What kind?
At home, work, so that my opinions be voiced.
So how were the 2014 elections?
I didn't vote because I'm not a citizen, so don't quite know.
So you will be a citizen soon, yes? So for 2018, what do you want it to look like?
I don't have any experience voting, so I'm not quite sure how the procedure was and all that, but I hope it be safe and exciting.
So with Parliament meeting next month, what do you want Parliament to talk about or to do?
More important issues and leave the flag alone. I don't know how a new flag will change Fiji, bring Fiji to a better place. It just doesn't make sense. And they policed Facebook. I don't know why. They ask for opinions and then they give opinions and then they police it.
Of course, at the end of every year, the Parliament now will be putting together the national budget for the next year. So where do you want the money to go? What are your top 3 budget priorities?
Reducing poverty, education, and development.
What kind of development?
Industries and getting jobs, developing jobs.
My name is Joseph Atwake, but I prefer people calling me Adley because that's the name that I use. It's my stage name, and most people know me by that name.
So, do you want to be a decision maker?
Oh yes, of course.
So, what kind of decision maker would you like to be?
I would like to be a decision maker on a national level. I work for a sex workers organization, and I feel that the sex workers community's voices are not being heard enough.
So, what was your experience of voting last year? Did you vote last year?
Yes. Yes, I voted, but it was a bit complicated than the previous one that we had.
So for 2018, what do you want voting to be like?
I'd like the 2018 election to be more easier for everyone to vote at the same time, not people, some voting ahead of the others, because I believe that it complicates things for me personally.
Sure. And as Parliament meets, what do you want them to be talking about or planning or doing?
When Parliament meets, I seriously want them to hear us out and voice our issues that we bring in.
So what are your top 3 national budget priorities? You know, when government decides to put the budget for next year together, where do you want them to make sure that money definitely goes to?
My top 3 would be education, health, and youth.
Okay.
Bulavinaka, my name is Francis Ugolando. I hail from Wanganagin Rail. If you look across, my village is just right behind me, across the harbour. And I represent the Catholic Young Women's League in Lemhi, the Lemhi branch, and I'm very happy to be part of this workshop.
So, do you want to be a decision maker?
With that question is, I would say that I'm already a decision maker at a family level within my family, but I know, yes, I would say yes, I know that I can move up to another level, and maybe I would say, firstly, I'll try to be within my community, as in the Itoke group, especially in my village, Matangali. We'll try and rise up from there and go on to the local government stage.
How was your experience of the 2014 elections?
Well, with the 2014 elections, I would say it was one of my first vote. I used to take part in voting, but not like the national one. The experience was like I was quite frightened at first, even though I am well equipped, well informed of everything. The reason I was feeling that way is because I didn't like the voting system, because I had to pick only one. Like I had other preferences, but I had to choose only one.
What do you want to see for 2018?
2018, I would want to see where transparency is, fairness to the candidates that's going to stand for the elections. In the election law, there's a lot of so unfair that they have to show all their assets, whereas for us women it would be hard for us because we have to get the consent of our husbands. So who would want to go and show the dirty laundry to the public? The voting system, where if they could bring it back to like constituency, where we, instead of picking one from, I'm right here in Suva and voting for the one right in Level, and if we could have more preferences.
When Parliament meets next month, what do you want them to be talking about or planning or doing?
I would want them to be talking with employment amongst the youths, and especially with the kind of quality of employment, the quality employment, especially I would say back in our area, in the Lemmy area, the quality of employment for young women, whereas they go around, they go and do house sitting, babysitting, and I would say if they could look into that, where there's a standard put in place by the government that everybody has to look into. And another thing would be the tax. We would say everything is for free, that we could say the government is saying free education and all, but it seems like we're still spending, because when we go and buy things are quite expensive right now compared to before. This flag issue, if they could give more time, because I believe we youths are more concerned about the changing of the flag, even though they're saying there's a lot of public campaigning and all to see where I'll say, but I don't believe that they're reaching out to us, because we are being denied of that opportunity. And another thing would be if they could, watching our government sitting while they're not attacking the issue, they're attacking the person. So I would want them to let go of attacking each other and attack the issue.
So what would be your top 3 national budget priorities? Where do you want to see the money go maybe for the next year?
For empowering of women and young women. When we say women, they just focus on the women, but mainly on young women issues. And another thing would be education. We see there's a lot of truancy. And another thing would be on it will go back to the Ministry of Youth, more for employment for studying, to get youths more qualified.
My name is Dina. I am 28 years old and I represent House of Chameleon.
Do you want to be a decision maker? At what level or where?
At the highest level possible. Because I think it's really important to sensitize information on that level. Legislation, policy making, etc. It's a different thing to actually influence. It's important to influence things at the grassroots level, but there needs to be certain policies, etc. that need to trickle down. So maybe from the top, national level will be nice.
How was your experience of voting last year?
My experience with voting? Well, I'm 28 years old. I'm 28 years old, and that was my first experience. So it's an emotional one. Although I was frustrated that I had to wait for a long while because of the certain coup culture. But I was happy. I was emotional when I first cast my vote, but I was concerned about my safety in the beginning. So I had to wait because of my Soji identity. I had to wait towards the afternoon when it seemed a little bit more free. Then I went to cast my vote.
What do you want your 2018 experience to be like?
My 2018 voting experience. I know it's going to be a happy one because I will be making another choice. Hopefully this choice leads to an improved form of governance, because I am living currently in an environment where I'm very frustrated. So I know that it's going to be a happy moment. And I hope it'll be facilitated better compared to my last.
As Parliament meets, what do you want them to do?
As Parliament meets, I've always had one expectation, although it has yet to be met. I've always wanted Parliament to collectively agree on the protection, the full protection of people's opinions and the representation. I expected people to represent me well. Most of the things that actually concerned me haven't really been forthcoming to that liking, so I've had to sit back on certain issues which probably I shouldn't mention.
What are your top 3 national budget priorities?
Translation of policy and legislation, making sure that government provides a certain budget to the translation of these complicated documents so that it's easier absorbed in the grassroots level. I think that's very important, so that we're all aware of the type of things that are happening on national level, every single person from grassroots to the top. The problem at the moment, I still identify, it's been a long while, the grassroots have still yet to fully understand all of these laws, all of these bills, these acts. I think it's important that government siphons some form of funding to ensure that it's translated to layman terms.